Good morning, everyone. This is Sean, and welcome to V10 World. So, a couple of you have signed up to the channel, to the Instagram page, to the Facebook page already, and you know me, and you're like, oh yeah, sure, I'll go ahead and I'll like the page, but you don't necessarily know what V10 World is just yet. So, V10 World is my page, my YouTube channel that's going to be dedicated towards the love for V10 engines, specifically Audi V10 engines. Like again, I said, everyone who knows me is aware that I've had a couple of Audis over the years, mostly A6s. 3 of them to be exact. Love them. Love the Audi Quattro all-wheel drive. Going through the weather, and they're really excellent vehicles. Of course, the maintenance, you gotta be aware that if you're driving an Audi, the maintenance can be a little high, specifically if you're getting your vehicle serviced at the dealer and it's not covered under warranty. And that happens a lot because Audi vehicles are so reliable that you end up driving them a long time. Each of my vehicles has gone well over 150,000 miles. I actually had a 99, still do, a 99 A6 that has 256,000 miles, and it hasn't been driven in a couple years here. But if you charge the batteries, you put the key in, you start it, it'll start right now. So love Audi vehicles. However, there is one that I've always liked a little bit more than the rest of them, and that is the Audi S6, the S8. Fantastic. Love the growl that they make. That V10 engine, oh boy. So, earlier this year, I decided that I was going to pick up an Audi S6. I started looking at the S6 and S8 and found out that, the powertrain, the drivetrain, it's relatively similar. Some differences, mechanically, some differences. Exhaust, which is really weird. I don't understand why they didn't put the same exhaust on both vehicles. And there's a 50 horsepower difference, but I mean, if you're gonna do some aftermarket mods to the vehicle, it really doesn't make much of a difference, right? The S8 compared to the S6, I always thought that physically it was a much larger vehicle. However, when I started doing some research, what I found is that the S6 is actually taller and wider than the S8. The S8, I believe, has a wheelbase that is 6 inches larger than that on the S6, but that only translates to additional 3 inches of rear legroom in the vehicle. Once I saw that, I had decided, well, you know what? The S8 really isn't that much larger, so maybe I'll just get an S6. And the S6 is a little lighter, so it's probably going to be faster. Of course, once you make up for the difference in horsepower, which again is right around 50 horsepower. So I started looking, and the fact that, Audi only made the S6 and S8 for, a handful of years with the V10 engine in it, I started looking around and trying to find them, and I found quite a few. And what you find is one or two things that are prevalent. The first is that
we're going to interrupt this video. Well, actually, the video interrupted itself. For some reason, I lost part of the video. I don't exactly know what happened. So I'll just pick it up here, splice it in. what I was going to say is that as I was searching for either an S6 or an S8, I found out that one or two things was prevalent. Number one, you would find people that purchased the vehicles secondhand. They were either the second, third, sometimes fourth and fifth owners. If it was a fifth owner, I'm probably not interested in the vehicle. But even a second or a third owner, and the car was $100,000 new, $100,000+ in some instances. They now purchase the vehicle and sure, it's depreciated, but it still has a high operating cost. And more importantly, it's higher to maintain and to repair. So as people get these vehicles, they may or may not, they may have had the money to purchase the vehicle secondhand, but they don't necessarily have the money to maintain them, at least the way that they should be maintained. So, you know, each of the Audis that I've owned previously, they've been 85, 90% Audi serviced. I actually had an '05 and it was 100% Audi serviced. I mean, anything that went wrong with the vehicle, if it had a light bulb burned out, I took it back to Audi. Well, as you can imagine, that gets quite expensive. So the first thing that I ran into was that I could find vehicles for a decent price, but once I had them inspected, you found out that they weren't maintained as well as they should have been. The second thing that I came across when I was looking for an S6 or an S8 was the fact that some people, if they did maintain the vehicle properly, they probably had the means to do so, and as a result, they were quite proud of their vehicles. So the selling price was well above market value in some cases. There were several instances where I found a vehicle that was nice, looked at the maintenance records, things were in case, but you know they wanted $5, $6, $7, $10,000 over market value. It was pretty crazy. And then also, as I started looking at this and the months went by, I realized that I really didn't want an S6. I really wanted an S8, and for the extra cost, it was going to be worth it for me to get an S8. The S6 was interesting to me in the fact that it has the same power plant, you know, the same 5.2 liter V10 engine that's in the Lamborghini Gallardo. I'm thinking that you take a lighter car, it should be faster. Now, granted, the S6 stock is 50 horsepower less than the S8 is. So I was intrigued by, well, what upgrades could you put on the S6 to make up that 50 horsepower difference? And actually, you shouldn't have to make up the 50 horsepower difference because it's several hundred pounds lighter. Anyway, long story short, when it was all said and done, I really wanted an S8. So I went out and I started looking for an S8. Now we're going to cut back to the original video, driving down the street, and I'm almost home, and back to the regularly scheduled programming.
Yeah, we are just down the street from the house. Beautiful day today. My son and I spent considerable time this weekend cleaning out the garage at the house. I've got a pretty big 5-car garage, and actually that's me right over there in the on the left. You see I've got the fifth wheel in the driveway. So that's my 450 right there. 2008 Ford 450 with some work done to it. It's a workhorse. It pulls this guy right here. 44-foot fifth wheel. Sleeps 11, 3 slide outs. Family and I take this all over the place. And my 3 garages up front. I've got 2 around to the side. And this thing has, well, had one car in it, but then was just totally a mess. So we went through and we cleaned that out this weekend. And I'll pull in here and let you guys see what we have going on in the garage. So this is my garage here. You can see I just pulled the track van in. Got the real bad rod over there. That is my 69 GTO. Get low on air on the bottom, race car. Haven't had this on the track in a while, but when I did, it would run 8.3s, 165 or so. But, you know, 3 cars here, and this space is empty, so, I think we need to put something in here. See what we can do about that. So I got a call here just a few minutes ago that said there was a truck on the way to my crib, and they were gonna drop something off for me. I wonder if it's something that can go in this garage. Why don't we walk out here and see? So here we are walking out across my property, and there's this truck outside, and I think I see something on there that I might like. Let's go over here and see what this car in the back is. It looks pretty good. Wait a minute. I think that's an S8. I'm liking that. I'm gonna ask this guy if this is for me. Let's see what he got. First start okay. Backing her off. Definitely got to do something with that V10 exhaust. She is too quiet for me. Doing a good job. Excellent. She definitely needs to be washed up here. But outside of that, looking good. So we have the S8 all parked in the garage, cleaned up. Had to get all the road dirt off of it. Nothing worse than having a nice car and it's filthy or just not clean in general. Drives me crazy. Can't stand it. But at least she looks presentable now. Or at least she looks good enough that I can take her out for a test drive. So this is going to be the first time that we've had the S8 out since it was delivered a few hours ago. The maiden voyage, so to speak. Got to make sure that she's running well, as advertised, and all that she's cracked up to be. So hold on for a second. I'm going to go and grab the keys and jump in it, and let's see what this thing can do.